सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः मन्दस्मित मुखाम्बोजम् महनीयगुणभाषिणम् सर्वभूतदयापरम् भक्तवात्सल्यम् जलधिम् परमानन्दविग्रहम् ज्ञानानन्दम् प्रपन्नोऽस्मि निर्मलज्ञानसिद्धये।
आयातु वरदा देवी अक्षरम् ब्रह्म संहितम् गायत्रीं छन्दसां मातेदं ब्रह्म जुषस्व मे। ओजोऽसि सहोऽसि बलमसि प्राजोऽसि देवानां धामनामासि विश्वमसि विश्वायु सर्वमसि सर्वायुरभिभूरोम्। गायत्रीमावाहयामि सावित्रीमावाहयामि सरस्वतीमावाहयामि छन्दर्षीनावाहयामि श्रियमावाहयामि। गायत्र्या गायत्री छन्दो विश्वामित्र ऋषि सविता देवता अग्निर्मुखम् ब्रह्मा शिरो विष्णु हृदयगुं रुद्रशिखा पृथिवी योनिः प्राणापानव्यानो दान समानः स प्राणा श्वेतवर्णः साङ्ख्यायन स गोत्रा। गायत्री चतुर्विंशत्यक्षरा त्रिपदा षट्कुक्षिः पञ्चशीर्षापनयने विनियोग। ॐ भूः ॐ भुवः ॐ सुवः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसो अमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरोम्। ॐ क्षितौ षट्पञ्चाशत् द्विसमधिकपञ्चाशदुदके हुताशे द्वाषष्टिः चतुरधिकपञ्चाशदनिले दिवि द्विषट्त्रिंशत् मनसि च चतुष्षष्टिरिति ये मयूकास्तेषामप्युपरि तव पादाम्बुजयुगम्।
So this session, we will begin the 14th shloka in Soundarya Lahari. See, when you look at the Sthula Shariram is the visible physical body. It is made out of Panchabhutas. Prithvi, Apaha, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. So the physical body, the Sthula Shariram, is made of the Panchabhutas. The physical body is the instrument through which we interact with the world. We interact with the material world through the Jnanendriyam and Karmendriyam. And the Sthula Shariram is dependent on the Sukshma Shariram. If the Sthula Shariram has to function, there is something behind it which is the Sukshma Shariram. Because the Sthula Shariram does not have its own inherent Chaitanyam or life force on its own. So the Sthula Shariram is only a vehicle for the Sukshma Shariram to enjoy experiences with the material world. It is able to experience, it is able to express the Sukshma Shariram through the Sthula Shariram. And the Sukshma Shariram is joined in different places with the Sthula Shariram. In that, we look at 7 places which are more important, 7 different places. So these are the points from where the Sthula Shariram gets the Shakti, the Prana, the life force, the energy to act in the material world. And these points are known as chakras, where the Sukshma Shariram is joined with the Sthula Shariram. Those points are known as chakras. And of course, my aim is not to discuss the chakras in detail in this session. However, I have to speak a little bit about it. We have covered this elaborately in our other satsangs. Because this shloka will warrant some discussion on the chakras. When you look at the individual's inner journey, I'm talking according to Tantra Shastram here. So when you look at the individual's inner journey, the person will invariably be involved in the chakras, whether the person is aware or not. So he will be involved in the chakras either knowingly or unknowingly. And what are these chakras? The chakras gives us some insight about our own personality, where we stand, where we exist. And if we touch the chakras, we will know where we are. For example, if you're standing in a ground floor, you'll have a certain view. If you're in the first floor, your view is broader. You are in a higher plane. For example, if you're standing in the 7th floor, your view will be much larger, isn't it? You'll know more. You exist in a different plane. That's how we need to understand the chakras. So the Mooladhara chakra is located at the base of the spine, which represents the Prithvi, Panchabhuta. And the Swadhisthana chakra is in the lower abdomen. You can just use you can use 4 fingers below your navel. And that is the position of Swadhisthana chakra. The Manipuraka chakra, again the Swadhisthana chakra is Apaha Tattva among the Panchabhutas. The Manipuraka chakra is located slightly above the navel, between the navel and the rib cage. That is the position for visualization. And the Manipuraka chakra represents the Agni Tattva among the Panchabhutas. Then the Anahata chakra is in this heart region, which represents the Vayu Tattva. And the Vishuddhi chakra is located in the base of the throat, which represents the Akasha Tattva. And then there is Agnya chakra, which is Bhru Madhya, which is between the eyebrows. And the Agnya chakra does not represent any Panchabhutas. The duality starts fading from that point onwards. And then there is Sahasrara, which is the crown of the head. And when you look at these chakras, each chakra is represented by a set of petals, lotus petals. Mooladhara is represented by 4 petals, Swadhisthana by 6 petals, Anahata by 10 petals, Manipuraka by 10 petals, Mooladhara by 4 petals, Swadhisthana 6 petals, Manipuraka 10 petals, Anahata is 12 petals, Vishuddhi is 16 petals, and Agnya is 2 petals. And Sahasrara is 1000 petals. This 1000 also indicates infinity. So each chakra is represented by a petal. And what are these petals? So we know the chakras are energy centers, which are represented by the lotus petals. And the lotus petals are the intersection of the nadis in the body. So each intersection has got a collection of nadis. And the nadis, what is the purpose of the nadis? The nadis distribute prana, the life force, throughout the body. And each petal holds a unique sound, sound of an akshara, the Sanskrit akshara. And each akshara corresponds to a specific aspect of the consciousness. And you got totally 50 petals of the main chakras, excluding the Sahasrara. And each petal has got a corresponding akshara of 50 of the Sanskrit letters. There are 50 aksharas, and each petal has got an akshara. So for the sadhaka, it is about an upward journey, moving the energy from the lower chakras, which is the Muladhara, to higher levels of perception. When you look at these chakras, look at the bottom three chakras, the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraka. Muladhara is the lowermost, then Swadhisthana goes up. And there are 7 chakras in the body, and the life force can go out of the body through any of them. The life force, the prana, can also leave the body from the Sahasrara. So it is said in the Shastras that when the life force, the prana, leaves through Sahasrara, it is ultimate realization. As the energy moves from the lower centers towards the higher centers, the sadhaka increasingly has got higher state of awareness. More and more, the sadhaka gets detached from the body, detached from the possessions. The desires slowly fade away as the energy starts moving upward. And in the 7 chakras, the Anahata chakra is in the middle. So below the Anahata, there are 3, and above it is 3. 3 below the Anahata is what? Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka. And existing in that state is enough to run the life. Person will be very extrovert, very materialistic. And majority of the population live through the 3 chakras. That's more than enough. And these 3 chakras are already available to us. You need not have to do anything. They have got certain functions, and they continue doing the functions, and the individual exists in that state. That is enough to interact with the world, eat, sleep, procreate, do some work. That is more than enough, and ultimately pass away one day. 3 centers are enough. Again, without the 3 centers, the bottom 3 centers, life will become impossible. So the individual has to survive, isn't it? So the nature has given us a lot of possibilities. So from the moment we are born, the 3 chakras start functioning, and they go on functioning until the time the person passes away. And the whole life is covered by those 3 chakras. And the person is not aware of what exists beyond them. There are certain higher levels of existence the person is not aware. What becomes important for the person? For many people is what? I need money, I need a family, I need power, I need prestige in the society, I need respectability in the society. I want a name, I want fame, and of course a large family. I want to procreate. All these aspects belong to the bottom 3 chakras. And that is enough to live life, isn't it? So that is the purpose of the first 3 chakras. And the next 3 chakras, the higher chakras, belong to the mind. And the 7th chakra, the Sahasrara, is beyond everything. And ordinary people, for them, the first 3 chakras are more than enough. They remain there, they indulge in life, They indulge in the material world. They just hang around there. That's enough for them. And the next three chakras, the Anahata, Vishuddhi, and the Agnya, take you into an higher planes of existence, increase your awareness. They pull the sadhaka towards higher levels. And the seventh chakra, the Sahasrara, you are beyond everything. You are neither the body, you are neither the mind. And for the sadhaka to attain realization, it is not necessary to pass through every chakra. It is not necessary. You can bypass the chakras. There is also one direct method. It is not about working on Kundalini, that I want to feel the Kundalini. I want the Kundalini to rise in me, right? And people have got a lot of imaginations on Kundalini. And what happens is when the Kundalini, the energy rises, it is not necessary that you will feel it. Only when the passage is blocked, you will feel it. Just imagine a pipe. There are a number of pipes going, and the water is flowing through the pipes. If the pipes are not blocked, you will never hear anything. The water simply flows. Just imagine some of the pipes are blocked. What will happen? So you know what happens. See, take an example. You got a 3-story building. Your home is made of 3 stories. In the first floor, you got a kitchen, you got a bathroom. Maybe in the first and second floors, you got bathrooms. So morning you get up and come to the kitchen. You want to have a coffee. You open the tap and the water doesn't come. What will be the state of the mind? Irritation, isn't it? I want to have a coffee. There's no water. Then you go to the bathroom. You want to have a bath. You open the tap. Of course, the water is flowing, but only at a very low pressure. And what happens to your situation? You get angry. Then you go to the first floor. You want to take bath there. You open the tap and suddenly water gushes. You're very happy. You go to some other room and try to open the tap. Some other emotion. So why I'm telling this example is an individual is stuck in many places. The energy is stuck. Depending upon where the energy is stuck, the person goes through a lot of emotions in the mind. Whereas when the pipes are clean, the water can flow through very easily. What happens? You will not even hear the water flowing. It goes through so smoothly, and that's how you need to look at Kundalini. So when the Kundalini is rising, it doesn't mean you will feel it. If you have the clear passage, if the passage is completely cleared out, the energy flows very easily, you will never feel it. And that Kundalini is the universe. It is the creative energy that is behind everything in the universe. And that is the cosmic Shakti. And the same Shakti is within us. So what is existing in the universe is also existing within us. And when you look at the 6 chakras in the body this way, what are the 6 chakras? They are Sri Chakra. So the Shastram groups the 6 chakras. I'm not taking this, I'm only taking the first 6 chakras here for the discussion. So the first 6 chakras, the Shastram puts them into 3 groups. 3 groups. The first group is Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. The second group is Manipuraka and Anahata. And the third group is Vishuddhi and Agnya. 3 groups. I am not taking Sahasrara here. It is beyond everything. So 3 groups which are Mooladhara, Swadhisthana group 1, Manipuraka, Anahata group 2, Vishuddhi and Agnya group. The first group is known as Agnisthanam. Agnisthanam. And to visualize that Agni as resident on the top of the group. That is the visualization. So the first group is Agnistanam. It is also known as Brahma Granthi. The second group, which is the Manipuraka and Anahata, is known as Surya Sthanam. You can visualize Surya on the top of the group, which is also known as Vishnu Granthi. And the third group is known as Chandrasthanam, which is Anahata, which is Vishuddhi and Agnya. So Agnisthanam is Mooladhara Swadhisthana. Suryasthanam is Manipuraka, Anahata. Vishuddhi and Agnya belong to the third group, which is Chandrasthanam, which is also known as Rudra Granthi. You can visualize Chandra on the top of the group. And when you look at visualize the first group, the Agnisthanam, the Agni surrounds the first group. And the second group is Surya Sthanam. The rays of Surya surround the second group. And the third group, the Kalas of Chandra surround it. The Kalas of Chandra. 16 Kalas. Shodasha Kala. Let us go back to the first group again. The first group is Agnisthanam. Right? Agnisthanam, Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Mooladhara is the place for Prithvi Lingam. That's the visualization within yourself. Prithvi Lingam. Prithvi's Lingam is Swayambhu. And the Prithvi Lingam is covered by 56 tongues of flames to illuminate it. Remember, it is Agnisthanam. So that is covered by 56, the Mooladhara, the Prithvi Swayambhu Lingam is covered by 56 tongues or flames that illuminate it. The Swadhisthana is also illuminated by the Agni. There are 52 tongues of flames that illuminate it. Totally, it is what? 56 plus 52 is equal to 108. The flames, the Jwala of the Agni are 108. So the Prithvi Swayambhu Lingam is Mooladhara, and there is Mahalingam here, just above the Swadhisthana. This is where Mahalingam is there. Svillingam is Swayambhu, Mahalingam is Jyotirmayam. And that is what is resident in is just above the Swadhisthana. And this is illumined by that Agni. Visualization, you can look at 108 Jwalas of Agni, 56 on the Prithvi Swayambhu Lingam, and 52 on the Mahalingam, the Jyotirmaya Mahalingam. That is the first group. The second group is Surya Sthanam. Surya Sthanam is Manipuraka and Anahata. Manipuraka is illumined by the Kiranas of Surya. There are 62 Kiranas of Surya which illumine the Manipuraka. Anahata is illumined by 54 Surya Kirana. Totally 62 plus 54 will be 116 Kiranas of Surya which illumine the Surya Sthanam. And this is the place for Bhuvalingam, which is Vayurupam. That is the visualization, Bhuvalingam. So you got Prithvilingam, Mahalingam, Bhuvalingam. Prithvilingam is Swayambhu. Mahalingam is Jyotirmayam. Bhuvalingam is Vayurupam. That is the second group. And when you go above, it's all Arupam. That is the visualization. The Devi's feet are resting on Sahasrara. And the Devi is the source of the universe. Everything in the creation is illumined by the Devi. The sun, the moon, the stars, whatever you see is the reflection of the Devi alone. And the light of the Devi pervades everywhere. She is Jagat Kāranam. She is Jagat Kārana for Srishti, Sthiti and Samhara. She is the embodiment of time. So she is everything. and her feet are resting on the Sahasrara. And what is her feet? That feet is Ananda, isn't it? Divine nectar. That Ananda, divine nectar, is dripping down, dripping down. That Amrita is what is stored in the Soma Chakra. So when you look at the whole creation, the Devi is Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Karanam. And the creation is also governed by seasons. And we know in our realm of existence, you got 360 days in a year, and there are 6 seasons. What are the 6 seasons? Season is called as a Ritu. And Ritu is very central to our tradition. You got Vasanta Ritu, which is spring season. Then Grishma Ritu, which is summer season. Then Varsha Ritu, monsoon, rainy season. Then you got Sharad Ritu, which is the autumn season. Then Hemanta Ritu, which is the period just before the winter. Then you got the winter season, which is Shishira Ritu. And when you look at these Ritus, the seasons, they typically span 2 months approximately, which follows our traditional calendar, which represents, we understand them as climates, different, the climate during different parts of the year. They are also the biological phases of the year. So when you look at Vasanta Ritu, it is somewhere between March and April. Grishma Ritu will be around May and June. Varsha Ritu, July, September, the rainy season. Then you got Sharad Ritu, which is around the October, November period. Then Hemanta Ritu, the early winter, the pre-winter, which will be around November, December. Then the winter kicks in, which is Shishira Ritu, which will be around the January, February time frame. That's how we understand this season. So 360 days in a year and 6 seasons. Now, why I'm telling this is when you go into the visualization, we did the visualization of the chakras now. And we will understand how the seasons are also related to those chakras. Now let us go into the shloka. Shitau Shat Panchashat. Shitau Shat Panchashat. When you say Kshiti, Kshiti is Prithvi Tattva in the Mooladhara chakra, which is the Agnistanam. Panchashat means 56. 56 Jwala of that Agni which is filling that space. 56. Shat Panchashat. When you say Shat is 6, without Shat Panchashat means there are 56 A's or Jwala of Agni illuminating the Mooladhara, the Agnistanam, and that is the region of the Swayambhu Prithvilingam. It represents the earth element, the Mooladhara, and also there are 56-day long spring season, Vasanta Ritu, which means the Devi is in this chakra as in the 56-day long season of spring. That is another way to visualize it. Vasanta. Vasanta is spring season. So, Shitau Shat Panchashat. Dvi Samadhika Panchashat Udakam. Udake. Dvi Samadhika Panchashat Udake. Dvi means 2. Samadhika, more than 2. More. Samadhika, more. Dvi Samadhika. When you say Panchashat, it is 50. Udakam is Jalatatva, water, which is Swadhisthana, which is again the Agnistanam, Jalatatva. So dvisamadike panchashat udake. So dvisamadike. Dvi is 2, samadike is more than 2, panchashat is 50, which means what? 52. Dvisamadika panchashat is 52. Udake is the jala tattva. There are 54 jwalas of Agni, because that is Agni Sthanam, illuminating the Jala Tattva. Jala is associated with Swadhisthana chakra, which means the Devi is in this chakra as in the 52-day long season of summer, Grishma. So until now, totally it is what? 56 plus 52 equal to 108. Agnisthanam. There are 108 flames of Agni illuminating this region. It is this region of Jyotirmaya Mahalinga. Vishau Shad Panchashad Dvi Samadika Panchashad Udakam. Right? Hutasha. When you say Hutasha, Hutasha is Agni. Hutam Ashnati iti Hutashaha. Why is Agni called as Hutasha? Hutashaha means one who consumes. When you offer something to Agni it consumes it. You offer oblations to the Agni, it consumes it. Hutashaha. So it is Agni Tattvam associated with Manipuraka, which is Surya Sthanam, and there are Dvashashti. 62 rays of the Surya Kirana illuminating that sthanam. 62 rays of Surya Kirana illuminating that sthanam. Utashe Dvashashti. We have to understand Shashti as Dvishashti, which means the Devi is in the chakra as in the 62-day long season of 62-day long rainy season, Varsha Ritu. Hutashaha. So Kshitāushat Panchashat Dvisamadika Panchashat Udakam. Hutashe Dvashashtihi or Dvishashti. Hutashe Dvashashti 62. Then what? Chaturadika Panchashad Anile. Chaturadika Panchashad Anile. Anilam. Anila is Vayu Tattva. Na nilayati anilaha. The Vayu Tattvam, the Vayu doesn't remain in one place. That's why it is called as Anila. Na nilayati anilaha. Here it is Chaturadika Panchashad. Chaturadika Panchashad is 54. So Panchashad Chaturadika. 50 plus 4, 54. 54 components of. So Anila is the Vayu Tattva. Associated with the Anahata chakra, which is the Surya Sthanam. Here there are 54 Chaturadika Panchashad Kiranas of Surya illuminating that region, which means the Devi is in this chakra as the 54-day long season of autumn, which is Sharad Ritu. Chaturadika Panchashad Anile. So the mantra to be the shloka will be very clear now. Shitaushad Panchashad Samadika Panchashad Udake Hutashe Dvashashtihi Chaturadika Panchashad Anile. 54 here. So the Surya Sthanam is the place of Bhuvalingam, which is Vayu Rupam. Next is what? Divi. Divi means Akasha, the space element. And in the space element, also there are components of the light, the Surya Kirana. So that space is Akasha Tattva that is associated with the Vishuddhi chakra, and the Vishuddhi chakra is 72, which is there are 72 components of the kiranas of Surya or illuminating that place. So Dvishashti Trimshan Manasi, Vishashti Trimshad, which is 36 multiplied by 2 equal to 72. Trimshat is 30, Dvi is 2, Shat Trimshat is 36. So Dvi Shat Trimshat is 36 multiplied by 2 is 72. There are 72 components of the rays of light which are spreading that region, the Akasha Tattva associated with the Vishuddhi. Manasi means what? Manasi means in the mind, which means the Devi is in this chakra as in this 72-day long season of the Hemanta Ritu, which is the pre-winter, the early winter. So Manasi Chatush Shashti Chatushashtihi Chatush Shashti Ritiye. That Manas Tattvam is associated with the Agnya Chakra. And this is associated with the 54 components of the Surya Kirana, which is filling that region. Manasi Chatush Shashti Iti, which means the Devi is in this chakra as in the 64-day long season of Shishira Ritu. That's how you visualize. So the visualization is what? You group these chakras into 3 groups. The bottommost is the Agni-sthanam. The next group is Surya-sthanam. And the third group is Chandra-sthanam. The Agni-sthanam, the Jwala of Agni is filling that region. And that is the location of the Prithvilingam and the Mahalingam just above it. Then the second group, it is the Bhavalingam, which is Vayurupam. The Mahalingam is Jyotirmayam. So all the Kiranas are filling that region, illuminating that region. And where is this light coming from? From the feet of the Devi. From feet of the Devi, everything is getting illumined. Right? So when you count all this, say, Manasi Chatushashti iti. Manasi Chatushashti iti. Ye mayuka tesham api uparitava. Ye mayukas tesham api uparitava. Ye mayuka. Mayuka means the beam of light, the rays of light. There are components of this rays of light that exist in every element. Every element, each chakra is associated with a particular Panchabhutas. And the Panchabhutas are illumined by this light. So when you add all of them together, the Prithvi is 56, Apaha is 52, Agni is 62, Vayu is 54, Akasha is 72, Manas 64, it comes to 360. 360. So, Ye Mayuka Tesham Api Upari Tava. Ye Mayukas Tesham Apyupari. So, Ye Parashakti, the Devi, Tesham Upari. Tesham Upari, above all of them. Above all of them, what? You're resting her feet on the Sahasrara. Tava Padambuja Yugam. Yugam means both pair of legs, pair of feet. Yugam. Your pair of lotus feet, Padambuja. All of them in the Sahasrara, Tesham. Upari, above. You are illuminating the entire creation. This is micro creation, that is macro creation. She is illuminating everything. Tava Padambuja Yugam. Tesham Upari. So Upari means that is above, which is set as the Sahasra Dala Kamala, Brahmarandra. And in the center of the Brahmarandra is the Chandra Bimbasthana and the resident in the Bindusthanam. In that Tava, your Padambuja, your two lotus feet, Vardhate, are established. And this means what? The Devi is shining on the entire creation. The entire creation is represented by the cycles, the 6 seasons. So in every chakra, you're recognizing that cycles of creation. And the illumination is recognized in us as the Kundalini, which is evident in every chakra. So her illumination is recognized within us in the Kundalini, which is evident in every chakra. That's how you need to visualize this. There are rays of light in each chakra associated with each element of the Panchabhutas. O Devi, O Parashakti, your lotus feet is above all of them. She is resting her feet on the Sahasrara. Which means what? The Devi is the only source of illumination. The Devi is the only source of Shakti for everything in the creation. And her feet alone can give us freedom. And what does her feet signify? Her feet signifies Ananda, infinite consciousness. It signifies fullness. It signifies completeness. And that feet is shining above the Sahasrara. And she is blessing the sadhaka for moksha. Shithau Shat Panchashat. Visamadike. Shithau Shat Panchashat. Visamadika Panchashat Udake. Kutashe Dvashashti. Chaturadika Panchashat Anile. Divi is Akasha. Divi Vishat Trinshat Manasi Cha Chatushashtihi Itiye. Mayuka, the rays of light. Mayuka Teshamapi Uparitava Pada Ambujayugam, Shitau Shat Panchashat, Dvisamadika Panchashadudake, Hutashe Dvashashtihi, Chaturadika Panchashaddanile, Divi Dvishat Trimshan Manasi Cha Chatuhu Shashtiritiye. Mayukastesham apyuparitava padambuja yugam. So this is this shloka about. And that is how you visualize this shloka. And that's how you meditate on this shloka. Deep states of meditation.
Shikre jate pumyam parvatamurthani mrehebhyo abhirugdata gacchati viyathasukam suto maya varta vedamata prachodayam avane
Ayukratyam brahmanam madhyam
dattva prajatum brahmalokam.
Sadashiva Samarambam
Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam
Smriti Purananam
Alayam Karunale Bhagavatam Lokashankaram.
Hari Om Ji, Hari Om.
Thank you.